All right, I'm so excited about this. So just a little bit of background. I effectively avoided strategy probably for the first 5 years of running a business. I thought it was a waste of time. I thought I didn't need it, and it didn't work out so well. You saw, remember the dip, 2019, 2020, like that was really a result of not looking at strategy enough, right? So the second element of that wheel is strategy, right? Like that's what almost broke me and the company. And I realized around then, like, I need to spend more time there. It can't just be like big vision and big execution, which is really the two things I enjoy the most. Like, I gotta spend more time on strategy. And so, am I the world's greatest strategist? No, absolutely not. But I like frameworks. I like them a lot. And there's a framework that I developed. There's a couple different versions of them, but man, it really helped me to lead strategic meetings, right? So as I'm with my team, and by the way, I had some super strategic people on my team that I wasn't leveraging. And they're like, wow, like what am I, just damaged goods? Like I'm the strategy guy and you're like, pass, right? So like I literally started to meet with these people and built a framework so that I could get better at listening to them and growing strategy for our business, because we were just like completely missing it. And again, that was like the season that we doubled in revenue, right? So I'm like, oh, strategy is important, cool, great. So here's the framework that I've been using for like a decade, close to a decade, and the framework that we use inside of the arena. So each of our members meets once per month with their chapter, and one of the things that we do is we walk through a segment that we call Synergize. And basically, we have one person in the hot seat, and we ask that person to walk through 3 steps. So I'm gonna lay it out for you before I invite my first person up, which is Ange, to get ready. It's identify, clarify, recommend, right? So anyone, I see heads nodding because people are like, yeah, we've done that 100 times. I've led over 500 of these sessions. I added it up. Over 500 sessions just in the arena of identify, clarify, recommend. So let me tell you how it works. And usually we just have like 5 or 6 people. Today we're doing it with like 65 people. And I think it's gonna be awesome. I've never done this, but I can't wait to see what comes up. So first is identify. And that is where the person presenting, the person in the hot seat, and we're gonna have 3 of them, one by one, is going to basically present their issue. They're not gonna present a solution. They're gonna present their issue, that if they could get this issue solved, would be meaningfully impactful on their business, say 6, 12, 24 months from now, right? So maybe just a tiny pivot, but man, 2 years away from now, that could change everything, right? I had what seemed like a semi-significant pivot back in 2019 and like save the business. We could literally save someone's future business today. Like this is a big deal. This is what getting the arena is all about. So first is identify, they present. Yeah. Second is clarify. Right, clarify, and this is where you come in, and you have to come in or else we'll just look at each other. You're literally going to ask that person questions, right? Now, here's a little bit of guidance. During clarify, you cannot make a recommendation. If you make a recommendation and then do like inflection at the end of your voice, it's still not a question, right? It has to be a question that ends with a question mark.
For that all the time.
And we're literally gonna have mic runners, so like we'll be pointing to you, maybe we'll ask each person 5, 6 questions. So as they're presenting, identify, write down a question. And the point of clarify is to better understand the issue, because let me tell you this, sometimes people don't even know what the issue is. They present and they think it's a cash problem, but you're like, oh my word, that's actually a strategy problem, or whatever, right? So like ask questions to get deeper. So the point is to dive deeper, dive deeper, dive deeper. After that, I promise you, we will move to recommend. And that is where you tell them what to do. Isn't that fun? Now here's the key. They don't have to do what you say. It's their business. In fact, there are gonna be people in this room that give advice that's opposite perhaps. And that is okay. One of my favorite proverbs says, without counsel plans fail, but with an abundance of counselors, they succeed. So the point is not that like one person has the answer. The point is posturing yourself to listen to advice and recommendation from other people who've heard the context of what you're going through. And probably one of the things that one person shares is going to be the thing that that person takes and applies to their business, and it could change everything for them. You guys in? You ready for this? Okay, so first up, I'm going to invite Ange. You heard from him a minute ago. Give it up for Ange Bourgeois. All right, Ange, take the mic. Yeah, I'm going to sit with you.
Great.
So Ange, tell us first, I want to know just like high level, a little bit about you, a little bit about your company, when you started it, that sort of stuff.
Yes, so my name is Ange Bourgeois. I go by Coach Bougie online because my last name is Bourgeois. The company that I have is called Catching Made Simple. And basically what we do is we're an online training coaching company for specifically youth catchers. And that's baseball and softball. The goal is to help them to become the clear #1 catcher in their league. And so it's really cool. We work with tons of different families across the entire United States, even into Canada and Australia. And they practice at home. I have a curriculum. They practice at home. They record themselves. They send it in, and I give them feedback. And so we do that over and over and over, multiple times a week. So we're in pretty frequent contact. And it's really cool. We also have group calls, and a lot of these kids, I would say the majority of the players that we're training are around middle school. That was actually something that Luke helped kind of focus in on in terms of like our target customer. And it's a ton of fun because these kids, they're not too cool yet, right? They're still in middle school. So they're like, they love it. They want to grow. They want to learn. They're like really hungry, and they're like willing to try. And they expect it to be hard, and they expect it to take multiple attempts, and then when they get it, they're all fired up, and so it's a really fun age to work with as well. And then in terms of how long we've been going, about 3.5, almost 4 years. The team looks like my wife is over here. She's helped essentially build all of this, but she's pregnant with our second right now.
Come on.
And is ready to kind of take a little bit of a step back, which is great. And then Brooke over here. Everyone say hi, Brooke. She's awesome. We just brought her on officially more full-time, and for context, social is a really big piece for us, and we're at about, I think, just over 500,000 followers across all platforms, and we've really recently been stepping it up. A big piece of that is because of Brooke. We've been posting like 3 times a day, and it's been super effective.
So what Andrew's saying is that his entire staff is also the film crew for the arena event today.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Maybe picked up on that, but they're here and they're making it happen. So thank you to each of you. So Andrew, what is your big question for the group?
Yes.
And feel free to offer a little bit of context so they can better understand. And then again, right after this, we'll move to clarify, where you get to ask questions of Ange, so get ready.
Yes, so I guess one other big piece of the team that I didn't just say, because this is fresh, I'm hiring another support coach. And this is a direct result really of a conversation that I also had with Luke, which was like, hey, you have this pretty cool like lifestyle business right now. You could like sit here and chill and like have it be pretty nice right now, or you could build it bigger. Like, which one do you want? And the thing that he kind of posed to me, sorry I'm taking a little longer, but I think this is important context, is he was like, hey, like, look, there's really only so many people who like have the ability to like go build stuff like this. And like when you do this, like you can create opportunities for other people. And you kind of have a responsibility to like pursue making it bigger. And he's like, you can do whatever you want, but if I were you, I would make it bigger. All right. Here's my final context and question. So I just hired a coach, and so he just graduated. He's a senior, or was a senior. He's a fantastic fit, but he needs pretty significant technical training before he can take on clients. He's a great player, but he's not a great coach. Those are different things. And so he has a background and passion for strength and mobility and nutrition, and my current clients have a need for that. But I'm trying to figure out the bridge between, like, I'm paying him money and he's generating revenue for the business. And I think this is a very common stage that a lot of businesses are at, so I'm sure that a lot of you can help with this. So I see a few options on the table. One, I could plug him into the existing client base as an additional service on strength, mobility, and nutrition. Two, I could train him up as fast as I can to take clients and launch a discounted tier to fill him up because I do have a lot of demand that I think I would be able to do that pretty quickly. Or I could train him as fast as I can, not discount the rate, and wait until I can get enough clients. I don't want to hand over my personal clients right now because of the personal relationship and his current skill gap. I think that would create issues. But I'm worried about how fast I could fill him up at the current price point, especially if they think that I would be the one delivering the coaching because they've watched me online for a long time typically. I believe that I would, with a discounted offer, probably be able to fill him up with like to a pretty decent amount fairly quickly. So my question is, what would you recommend that I do to help get him onboarded successfully, give him like a real path and vision for like, okay, here's where we're going and how do I best use his skills with either my current client base or getting new clients for him?
Well done.
Thank you.
Time to move to clarify. What questions do you all have for Ange? Yeah, raise your hand if you have a question, and then we have mic runners on both sides. Why don't we go, we'll go Shay, go right here next, keep your hand up. We'll just move across the room. So hit those two first, and then Austin will be next, and then Jill.
Is his cost like an overhead cost W-2 maybe salary, or the direct cost per coaching session?
Definitely open to ideas here. Again, still feeling fairly new. I talked with Luke about this, and basically it would be a base rate plus basically like per client at different rates. I handle 70 clients myself personally right now. I think that you could handle 100, no problem. And so I have basically to 20 clients to 40, 60, 80, 100 base rates plus an additional compensation per client that he has, with like a big emphasis on retention, because that's like a key thing in the business. So trying to align incentives there. So that's what I have right now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Chris Mehta?
Do you have any sense of what he wants to do, or like what was the job description that he applied for?
Yes, he wants to essentially do what I'm doing, which is great because I can teach him how to do that. The thing that...
When we say wants to do what I'm doing, do you mean he wants to start his own business, or he wants to coach?
I could see him potentially wanting to start his own business in the future, but I think that he also really understands that there's a really big, like he has a big learning curve ahead of him, and I'll be able to shorten that quite substantially. And so, but he wants to do private training and then eventually potentially become a head college coach. That's kind of his path for what he's looking at. But I'm like, dude, once you get into private training, I don't know if you will want to go be a head college coach, but you can always go that path if you want to, but you should start here and learn from me.
Might fall in love. All right, let's go to the back. So Austin Rice and then Garrett Gerhardt right after, and then we'll come up to Jill in the middle here.
Hey Ange, is this guy a full-time hire, or is he open to potentially starting lower hours and scaling?
So he just graduated. He's going back living at home. So his expenses are pretty minimal. He is also super hungry. And so this is where I'm like feeling this tension where I'm like, he wants to run, but I'm like, I don't know how to best set him up to go. The way that we have it set up right now is we have a essentially variable comp package with the base and then added things, but then, yeah. So he's like very hungry to go, and I'm like trying to help him, and I'm like, I'm not sure how best to utilize you. So yes.
It's good. Garrett next.
Is a lower tier cost option a benefit to your product portfolio? Like, are you turning away people because your fee is a little bit too high?
I believe that's a big factor for churn. I do believe that's a big factor for churn.
If he wasn't waiting to be hired, would you be looking for someone like him to create that offering?
I don't know if I understand.
So if this guy wasn't like waiting for you saying, Ange, I'm ready, like would you be actively looking to create a lower price point offer? Is that what you were asking? Yeah.
Luke would probably tell me no. But
and what's your pricing right now also? Just real
my
quick?
pricing, I have 2 tiers. So both are on monthly subscriptions. One is $4.98 every 4 weeks, which is just above $100 a week, or just under $125. If you were to go get a catching lesson, it'd probably be about $100, and you would never see them in between the week. And so it's a little bit more expensive, but way more value. And then I have a higher one-on-one offering that was $1,000. Luke was like, you have to raise that because the difference is too close. So it's $2,000. I have a few people that are actively in that that I've had for now a few months. And so based off of my time and demand and time constraints, I would not be looking to go lower, but I do have a big heart to help more people. and I would love to have more people in, but I can't do that, and I make so much free content already that it's like, all right, just use the free content.
Okay, great answer. Jill, and then any other hands for people who have questions also? I think it's Michael, and then Miri in the front. So let's do Jill, Michael, Miri, I think we'll be done. I see people over here, I'll let you in on the next round, sorry. Short time frame, Jill.
So the question I have, twofold. How deep is his technical gap of what you're trying to fill, and have you gotten any information from other people about that technical gap? So that's question number one.
Wait, let's answer that first.
Okay.
He is a very good player. It really depends on like how hands-on I would go with him. I honestly believe I'm one of the best catching coaches in the world, so I think I can train him up really quickly. So I think probably like within a month or 2 months, I think he could be in a really good spot.
Isn't it fun to get in a room where everyone is just brimming with confidence? I'm the best catching coach in the world. I actually agree with him. I think it's true. Actually, Jill, if that's okay, I want to go back to Michael just because I want to make sure to get to his question too. Go ahead.
What is he better at than you are?
Execution. On the Working Genius. Is anyone familiar with Working Genius? Yeah, okay. He's an ET, I'm an IG.
And then Miri's last question here, right up front.
You mentioned that the focus would be on retention with him. What does retention mean for teaching middle schoolers? I would imagine they would either graduate or age out, so what does that mean?
It would be continuing to help them get to the next step. And so I've been like really trying to redevelop the product that I have into more of like a jiu-jitsu or karate belt style program rather than like a defined 12-week program where then they graduate, they're like, oh yeah, I've learned everything. It's like, no, we still have a lot to go. Yeah.
That's good, great question. All right, usually we spend a little bit more time on this obviously because there's so much more here, but Angela was awesome, great questions. Now I want to shift to recommendations. So this is the part where like Garrett did a minute ago, you can tell him what to do, right? So, I'm just kidding. So what recommendations do you have for Ange? This could be like something you should do, something you should think about, a book you should read, a person you should talk to, a story from my past about how I did it right, how I did it wrong, anything that comes to mind. What do you guys got? Raise your hand if you have a recommendation. Sarah Allen in the back.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah, just to recommend for you, Ange, I would say it sounds like there's just a lot of like lost in the sauceness for you. So I would recommend you get really specific. Maybe write out a very specific list of what skills do you want to see in this potential coach and what are the benchmarks. Like, okay, he needs to be good at these skills, but at what level? And again, someone who's 80% as good as you is still good enough. If you don't want to lose out on revenue, you don't want to lose out on new clients. So I just recommend that. And then also dedicate a set amount of time for like a threshold of training him, whether that's like 60 to 90 days. And if he doesn't reach those specific parameters after that amount of time, then you can reassess, maybe let him go, and then just follow up later, just to get the ball rolling.
Thank you.
Awesome, thanks Sarah. Let's go right up here.
My recommendation would just be, from what I know of you, you've probably already done a little bit of this, but really defining what is your priority for growth. Something that, is it additional services to your clients, or is it more clients in general, and maybe even writing out your 5-year plan. What does your business look like in 5 years, so that you can really identify what can this person do now for us to be able to get to that 5-year plan.
Yeah, awesome, thank you so much. Let's go Michael and then Katie, and then we'll be done with this one. Actually, I see you over there. I'm getting to you too.
We recently in my business just defined who we are as a company within bringing people onto the team, and we have a rating of 0 to 10, and we're just not a 0 to 5 company. Like, we need 5 to 10s. And so when we are looking at hiring somebody, if they're in that 0 to 5, the lower the number, the bigger the drag on the company and my team. And that means I'm gonna have to work really hard to get them where I want them to be. And so we've defined like, hey, if we're gonna bring somebody on, they have to get at least a 5, just where we're at as a company.
Thanks, Michael. We're gonna go Katie and then Matt Albee, and then we'll be done. Katie, you're up next.
This is a super recent pain point for me, so I'll just tell you my very recent experience of this. I brought in a trainer for the first time. I've been the only one doing 100% of client-facing work, for 6 years. So, and the business exceeded my margin. I brought in a trainer, and the big mistakes I made is thinking my clients are going to pay more. I should probably posture it like my clients pay more for me and then less for someone else. And then my clients just kept picking me, and then nothing worked. truly. And I had to posture in sales especially.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get me, ever. You're gonna get a trainer. And it might be me, and it might not. But that like we language, we will help you, we can get you there, there's a coach. It's so hard to switch from I'll help you, I'll solve your problems, I'm a very good coach, I'm the best in the business. Like those things are very tricky to transition from, but I've just recently been in this, and so I think in sales right now, start selling him whether or not they're gonna book him. And no matter the price point, I would just be cautious for you to say, you can have me or a little buddy. Because I think they're going to quickly pick you and say they want you and figure it out or back out. So I think that would be my advice. I've done this very wrong recently. So
talk about someone who's like best in the world at her craft too, right?
I know, she's
I mean,
really
come on.
good.
Has anyone enjoyed Katie today? Unbelievable.
You're very good. Nice job.
All right, and last one is Matt Albee. Yeah, right here.
It was very similar to what she just said. It's like the idea I had was, what if Coach Bougie was less about you and more about your brand? And when people reached out to you for your expertise, they didn't necessarily know if they were going to get you or anyone else. They know what they're getting is the program, which is the best in the world. So it just frees you up to scale into 3 or 4 or 10 coaches.
Come on. How do we do? Do we all right, team? You think we do okay for Ann?
Good. Thank you. Appreciate it.